Afternoon, everyone. Might even be evening by the time this thing gets uploaded. We'll see. Videos have been taking for a long time to get uploaded lately. But yeah, I've got a few things on my mind, kind of humorous, you know. I mean, because I don't know, maybe there's just not enough laughter in the world, or the laughter that is in the world, maybe that's inappropriate. I don't know, but for me personally, I use humor to get me through a lot of stuff, because everything is just so serious and violent and chaotic and just insane. I have to use humor, and this is just how my mind thinks. This is just where it goes. Okay. I'm thinking about this whole Fort Knox thing, right? I find it pretty comical. I really do. I find it humorous. Other people might say, "Oh no, this is very serious. What are you talking about? This is, Doge and finding out if the gold's there or not, and if it's not there, then everybody's going to lose their mind, and if it is there, then we're making America great again, and the economy's booming and everything else." I don't know. I find it funny, personally. I look at it like everything else, a clown show, a circus. And there's a few things that came to my mind about this that I'm going to share with you all. And some of you can relate to this. Well, a lot of you might be able to. And others of you won't be able to relate to what I'm talking about here. But this is just how I can reconcile things in my mind. Regarding the whole Fort Knox thing and going to Fort Knox and the audit and all the rest of that mess, I had a few things come to my mind about that. One is, remember years ago, I don't remember what year it was, Geraldo Rivera was going to open up Al Capone's vault. Some of you might remember, that was one of the most embarrassing moments on television probably ever. Because there was nothing in it. And then I'm wondering if that'll be the case here. I don't know. But then my friend John sent me a friend of mine an email yesterday. It was kind of funny. All they have to do is put a bunch of bricks and spray paint them gold. Put those in there, and people will buy it. People will buy. They will buy whatever this man tells them. Whatever this regime, administration, whatever you want to call it, government, whatever. Whatever they say, people will buy it, because that's how delusional and naive and gullible people have gotten now. They'll buy anything. P.T. Barnum, man, there's a sucker born every minute. They'll buy anything. Okay? So all they got to do is, even if there's no gold there, just spray paint a bunch of bricks gold, gold-plated bricks, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll take it a lot more serious than this, and maybe they'll go a little further. I don't know, but I just find the whole thing comical. I really do. And then the other thing that came to my mind about this was the James Bond movie Goldfinger. I shared a few clips of that movie to the post earlier this morning. Excuse me. I'm eating my lunch. Choking here. And I thought it was kind of humorous, because I was trying to think, okay, what television shows or movies or whatever has talked about Fort Knox before and trying to invade Fort Knox or rob Fort Knox or something else. And I'm sure there's others, but that's the only one that came to my mind, was Goldfinger from 1964 or whatever it was, with Sean Connery, And I know that was a terrible Sean Connery, but, Sean Connery. But anyway, Fort Knox, Goldfinger. People have never seen that particular James Bond movie. I'm sure people are familiar with it or seen it at least once or whatever. That's what Goldfinger tries to do. He tries to, invade Fort Knox, basically. And kind of interesting story, interesting plot. Probably my favorite James Bond movie, to be honest with you, at least with Connery in it, and the one I'm most familiar with. But I was just thinking to myself, man, Fort Knox, Goldfinger, auditing Fort Knox, trying to get the truth, find out if the gold's there or not there. And then, as often is the case, my mind goes into another direction. And I was actually talking to somebody at work about this, a younger kid. Actually younger than my kids, really. But he's willing to listen. He's willing to talk. So he's willing to listen to other perspectives and whatnot. So I was trying to relate to something on his level, and also something that my kids are familiar with and I'm familiar with from, because it's been around forever. I mean, forever. I mean, literally, since like 1977 practically, And I just kind of put this out there, okay, when I was talking to this young man. And I said, I said, are you a Star Wars fan? I said, do you like Star Wars? Have you watched Star Wars? He goes, yeah, I know about Star Wars and everything. I said, okay. I said, you remember the movie Revenge of the Sith? And he goes, yeah. And I said, okay. I said, now, the interesting thing about that movie is it's not only the backstory of how Anakin Skywalker becomes Darth Vader, which is very tragic. I mean, the whole movie is basically, not the whole movie, most of the movie, it kind of plays out like a Shakespearean tragedy, right? I mean, it starts out pretty cheesy and lame, but then it just builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up, right? Until, the tragedy happens, and then it introduces the new hope kind of thing, And I'm not saying anything for or against Star Wars. It's just, this is the film, okay? Revenge of the Sith, all right? That's what I was relating to, and trying to explain to him. Okay, so he's familiar with the storyline. He's familiar with the movie. It's been a long time since he had seen it. The movie's been out for like 20 years now. Believe it or not, that's how old it is. I said, but here's the thing about it. I said, in the film, you have Chancellor Palpatine. Now, this is a guy that is basically in charge of the Senate, in charge of everything, in charge of the Republic, and he's managed to stay in power a whole lot longer than he probably should because of war and rumors of wars and whatnot, okay? And he plays the good guy, and he plays the good guy really well. Everybody loves him. Everybody thinks he's great. He's doing the good things for the Republic. He appears to be on the side of the Jedi, and everybody thinks he's pretty good, but there's a few Jedi, that are just like, I don't know about this guy. It's like, there's something wrong. There's something missing here. I can't put my finger on it. And it's just like, we just need to watch him from a distance kind of thing. But most people are singing his praises most of the time, right? And he plays the good guy role very, very well. And in the film, as the film progresses, they begin to find out that Chancellor Palpatine is not the man they thought he was. As a matter of fact, Chancellor Palpatine is the dark Sith Lord, basically, that the Jedi have been searching for. So, once it's revealed that this is who he is, everything gets really crazy and violent from that point on. And Anakin turns and becomes Darth Vader and blah, 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 okay? People have seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. If not, okay, this is a storyline, all right? But the bottom line is, Chancellor Palpatine is not who he claims to be. And by the time people realize this, it's too late. And then I blew this young man away and I said, what if the man who's in the chair right now is Chancellor Palpatine? He just looked at me like, huh? Didn't argue with me. I said, just think about that. Just think about it. I said, I don't know. I said, but just think about it. I said, he's a great actor. Celebrity Apprentice and so forth. And, years in the WWE. Even took Linda McMahon, Vince McMahon, who has, been shamed, deservedly so. He's a pervert, and a Freemason, and he's pretty much done, with his empire that he created, right? But the president took Linda McMahon, his wife, and made her in charge of the Small Business Administration. And it's not the first time. I think he was in his cabinet. She was in his cabinet the last time he was in office too. Birds of a feather, right? So, anyway, I'm saying, if he is Chancellor Palpatine, I said, then what? He goes, oh man, we're screwed. Yeah. You see my point? You see my point? So that's why I don't buy into any of this Fort Knox audit stuff. I just shared some to the post that was sent to me a few minutes ago about Larry Ellison and, you know, the Project Stargate thing and introducing the new V's and all the rest of this stuff. I don't buy into any of it. I just don't buy into any of it. I know people do. And they're singing praises, and they're happy about the Fort Knox audit, and they're wondering what's going to happen, and are they going to send the Marines in, and, you know, this is going to be the biggest deal, and blah, 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 blah. I'm more concerned about Social Security, personally, you know, because my dad's on it. Your dad or your, you know, you may be on it. Your relatives may be on it. I'm curious to see if they're going to, you know, release the Social Security payments on time in March. Personally, you know, because March 4th apparently is when the tariffs go into effect. Interesting date, March 4th. Look it up for yourself if you want to. I'm not going to get into it, but interesting date that they chose, March 4th. And I believe it's the 3rd or the 4th that Social Security payments are supposed to be released. So I'm just thinking about all this different stuff. And I'm saying to myself, this is a show, man. This is a show. Like I said before, the greatest showman, and showmen, you know, the greatest show on earth. Ringling Brother Barnum and Bailey Circus. This is a show. And people are just sitting back and they're eating it up, man. They're absolutely eating it up. And they could be celebrating their own demise and they wouldn't even know it. Because that's how gullible and naive and delusional people are right now. When they put so much faith in a man, in a system, in a government, like the word says, curse is the man who trusts in man, right? But that's exactly what people are doing. That's what they continue to do. And this guy can do no wrong. I was getting so many emails by a particular person, I finally had to block them. Because everything that they were sending to me, so they were sending me some good stuff, but they were sending me stuff that was just driving me nuts too, because it was always singing, you know, number 47's praises. The guy could do no wrong. He was doing this. He was doing that. Blah, blah, blah. Look what he's doing here. Look what he's doing there. I was like, man, you are driving me nuts. I can't do with this anymore. So, I was just like, this is crazy. The delusion. You know, and how deceived people are. So, I got to laugh at it. Goldfinger, Fort Knox, you know, Revenge of the Sith, Chancellor Palpatine, you know, and what else did I mention? I forgot now. Oh, yeah, Geraldo Rivera's opening Al Capone's vault. I mean, I don't know. I think it's a joke. I mean, it's good television. It's good entertainment. I mean, let's put it that way. It's just weird. And then putting this dude, you know, MUSK in charge of everything. He's technically not even in the cabinet kind of thing. He hasn't been elected to anything. I'm wondering if he's really the president. Seems like he might be. And if something were to happen, I wonder if it would be him instead of Vance. You know, at this point in time, this is crazy. This is just craziness. So I just, I don't know. I got to laugh at it. I think it's funny. Anyway, my lunch is about over. That's my video. Hope you were entertained by it. Still a little food for thought. Just where my mind goes. You know, I'm wondering, man. Is he Chancellor Palpatine? Is he going to execute Order 66? You know, have we been set up for the kill? You know, are people celebrating their own demise without even knowing it? I think so. I really do. And I'm not trying to laugh about that like that, because that's a horrible, horrible thing. But at the same time, people have been warned. They've been told. They've been informed. They don't want to listen. They don't care. They're just going to keep doing whatever they want to do. And this is why we're Babylon, the land of confusion. And this is why we're going to be judged. And this is why it's going to hurt. And it's going to hurt bad whenever it starts. Might be March 4th for all I know. Canadian Prepper thinks that, you know, this could be the week of major economic downturn. Is he right? I don't know. Time will tell. Probably not. But interesting video that he put out about it. Made some compelling points. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, March 4th seems like that could be an interesting day with the tariffs going into effect against Canada and Mexico. And I think that's when Social Security payments are supposed to come out. 3rd, 4th, something like that. So I guess we'll see what happens. Not long to wait. Anyway, I have no idea when the audit of Fort Knox is going to be. But it's entertaining, that's for sure. So, all right. Y'all take care. I got to go. Have a good one. Bye-bye.